Most people imagine Scotland as dramatic and wild, all bagpipes and stormy castles. And yes, those elements exist, but there's another Scotland waiting beneath the surface, a quieter one, where mist rolls gently over glassy lochs at dawn, where single-track roads wind through valleys empty of crowds, where the loudest sound might be a sheep bleating in the distance or your own footsteps on ancient stone. This is the Scotland that doesn't shout for attention. It simply waits, soft and patient, for those willing to slow down. Let's wander these hidden spaces together and discover what stillness sounds like in the Highlands. Loch Lomond sits just an hour north of Glasgow, yet it feels worlds away. Early morning is the secret hour here. Before tour buses arrive, the water becomes a perfect mirror. You can rent a small boat from Balmaha village for around 20 to 30 pounds, or simply walk the western shore path. The trees lean close to the water's edge, and, if you're patient, you might spot red deer drinking at the shoreline. There's no rush here, no itinerary to follow, just you, the water, and the soft rhythm of ripples spreading outward. Bring a thermos of tea and let the stillness settle into your bones. From this peaceful water, we'll climb higher into the hills. Glencoe has a reputation for drama. Steep mountains, dark history, and moody skies. But arrive on a calm day, and you'll see something different. The valley opens like a sigh. Light filters through gaps in the clouds, painting the hillsides in shades of green and gold. A small roadside parking area near the Three Sisters viewpoint offers space to simply sit and breathe. You don't need to hike the peaks to feel the presence of this place. Sometimes it's enough to stand quietly and let the scale of it all sink in. Pack a jacket, even in summer. Weather here changes quickly, but that's part of its charm. The landscape shifts with every passing cloud. And speaking of clouds, there's a village tucked away where time moves even slower. Plockton is a tiny village on Scotland's west coast that feels like it's been gently set aside from the modern world. Palm trees, yes, palm trees, grow here thanks to the Gulf Stream. Colorful cottages line a sheltered bay where seals bob in the harbor. There's one main street, a handful of shops, and a pub where locals still gather for evening music sessions. You can walk the entire village in 15 minutes, but most visitors stay for hours. Sit on the seawall with fish and chips from the local shop, watch the tide come in, and let conversations with strangers unfold naturally. There's no pressure to perform or document, just permission to be present. When you're ready, the Isle of Skye waits just beyond the horizon. The Isle of Skye draws thousands to its famous spots, like the Old Man of Storr and the fairy pools. But venture just slightly off the main routes, and solitude returns. The small village of Elgol offers a pebble beach with views of the Coolin Mountains that take your breath away. Yet, it sees a fraction of the crowds. Arrive in late afternoon, when day trippers have left. The light turns soft gold, and the only sounds are waves and seabirds. If you're driving, take the back roads slowly. Single-track lanes require patience and courtesy, pulling into passing places when another car approaches. It's a rhythm that forces you to slow down, to acknowledge other travelers with a friendly wave. This simple exchange becomes part of the journey itself. From Skye's edges, we turn inward to Scotland's quieter glens. Glen Affric is one of Scotland's most beautiful glens, yet it remains relatively unknown. Ancient Caledonian pines stretch toward the sky, their trunks glowing copper in the afternoon light. A gentle trail follows the River Affric, crossing old stone bridges and passing waterfalls that tumble over smooth rocks. In autumn, the birch trees turn golden, and the forest floor becomes a carpet of amber leaves. This is walking for wandering's sake, not conquering peaks. The paths are well maintained but never crowded. You might encounter a handful of hikers, maybe a family with a cheerful dog, But mostly, it's just you and the forest, breathing together. There's a small car park at the trailhead, and the walk can be as short or long as you wish. From these ancient woods, we move to water's edge once more. Yes, Loch Ness is famous for its monster myth, but set that aside for a moment. The loch itself is stunning. 23 miles of deep, dark water flanked by forested hills. The village of Foyers on the less traveled eastern shore offers a beautiful waterfall walk and a quiet pier where you can sit undisturbed. Drive the B road that hugs the eastern bank instead of the busy A82, and you'll have the views almost to yourself. Stop at small laybys, step out of the car, and simply look. The water stretches vast and still, holding centuries of stories beneath its surface. Whether or not you believe in Nessie doesn't matter. The real magic is in the silence, the depth, the way the light changes with every passing hour. When you're ready to leave the water behind, the moorlands call. Rannoch Moor is one of the last great wildernesses in Britain. A vast expanse of peat bog, heather, and scattered lochs stretching as far as the eye can see. The A82 cuts across it, and there are several places to pull over safely and step into the openness. The air here feels different. Thinner, perhaps, more ancient. You're standing on land that has remained largely unchanged for thousands of years. In summer, cotton grass sways in the breeze like tiny white flags. In winter, snow blankets everything in silence. There's a particular quality to solitude here. It's not lonely. It's spacious. Liberating, even. Dress warmly and be mindful of the ground. It can be boggy. But don't miss the chance to stand in all that emptiness and feel how small and how connected you are, all at once. From this wide openness, we return to human-scaled comfort. In the small village of Fort Rose on the Black Isle, there's a tea shop that feels like stepping into someone's grandmother's kitchen. Floral tablecloths, mismatched china, and homemade scones served with local jam and thick cream. The pace here is unhurried. Orders arrive when they're ready, and no one minds waiting. Conversations with strangers happen naturally over shared tables. You might learn about the best coastal walks, or hear stories about the old fishing days, or simply exchange smiles over a perfectly brewed pot of tea. These small interactions are as much a part of Scotland's charm as any landscape. They remind you that travel isn't just about seeing places. It's about feeling welcomed into them, even briefly. When you leave, warmed and rested, the coastal roads beckon. The North Coast 500 is Scotland's answer to a scenic road trip, looping around the northern Highlands. While some sections can be busy in peak summer, much of the route remains beautifully quiet. The stretch between Durness and Tongue, along the northern coast, offers white sand beaches that could pass for Caribbean shores, except for the cool breeze and grazing sheep. You can walk these beaches entirely alone, even in July. The water is turquoise, the sand soft and clean. It's surreal and peaceful in equal measure. Drive this route in spring or autumn if you can, when accommodation is easier to find and the roads are emptier. Take your time. Stop at viewpoints. Chat with locals in village shops. Let the journey unfold without forcing it. From these northern shores, we drift toward one final realization. Scotland doesn't demand anything from you. It doesn't insist you climb every peak or visit every castle. It simply offers itself, quietly, generously, to those willing to slow down. The real gift of traveling here isn't in checking off landmarks. It's in the moments between. The unplanned stop at a viewpoint. The conversation with a stranger in a village shop. The hours spent sitting by a loch, doing nothing but watching the light change. Scotland teaches you that stillness is not emptiness, that silence can be rich and full, that beauty doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes the most memorable places are the ones you almost drove past, the ones that invited you to pause, breathe, and simply be. If this gentle journey through Scotland felt calming, you might enjoy our Calm Travel Guides playlist, where we explore other destinations that value stillness over spectacle.